Get ready. In this new series, we're going to take you through all of the major attractions that no longer exist in a specific park. This week, we're talking about Universal Studios Florida. This isn't a fully comprehensive list of extinct attractions, as there are some small ones and others that existed for a short spell, but this is an overview of the major attractions that no longer exist in Universal Studios Florida, starting from the most recently closed and working back through time. Get ready. Number 11. Terminator 2 3D. Terminator 2 3D was a live-stun theatre show opening in 1996 and closing its doors in 2017 to make way for the Bourne Stuntacular. Sitting in the Hollywood area of the park, it was a mini-sequel to the film Terminator 2 Judgment Day and set in Los Angeles. It started with a pre-show, taking you through Cyberdyne's latest technologies and how they are shaping the future, before the feed cuts to John and Sarah Connor warning you about the company's true intentions. We were then guided into a theatre to see the showcase of Cyberdyne's latest T-70 Terminators. Action ensues with Arnold Schwarzenegger himself on the big screen, and actors come out of the screen to perform stunts as the main characters from the films. While this attraction was revolutionary at the time of its opening, Universal likely felt that the Terminator franchise was getting dated and wanted to update it with something with more longevity. While the new Bourne Stuntacular is incredible, there's only one word to describe the extinct Terminator 2 3D. Super. Number 10. Beetlejuice's Graveyard Mashup. While going through a host of name changes and performance changes, Beetlejuice's Graveyard Mashup was a staple of Universal Studios Florida from 1992 through to 2016. This is astounding given the box office success of the initial film, which was mediocre at best. Beetlejuice at this point almost feels more known for being a Universal Studios mascot than a character from a film. His show was a stage musical featuring many Universal monsters such as Wolfman, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, and Dracula, among others. Throughout the years, songs such as In the Midnight Hour, It's Raining Men, You Give Love a Bad Name, and Smooth Criminal were featured, among many others. The place where this show was located now makes up part of the queue for Fast and Furious Supercharged, meaning this new ride replaced two fan favourites. We'll get to the other one shortly. While Beetlejuice may have overstayed its welcome in Universal Studios, the show itself felt needed in a park with little stage entertainment. With Universal's competitors Walt Disney World boasting Finding Nemo the Musical, Festival of the Lion King, Indiana Jones Spectacular, and Fantasmic, Universal could really do with a flagship stage show, and a suitable replacement for Beetlejuice could have ticked this box and saved us the trouble of Fast and Furious Supercharged. Due to the longevity of this show, anyone who visited Universal as a child will no doubt have fond memories of Beetlejuice's Graveyard Mashup. Number 9. Twister Ride It Out. This one still hurts to talk about. Twister Ride It Out was a special effects attraction based on the disaster film Twister from 1996. It closed in 2015 and was replaced by Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon, a poorly received screen-based simulator. Twister started with a pre-show outlining the dangers of natural disasters and how the effects in the film were created using practical and special effects. You were then led through another queue which takes you through a storm-torn house. Finally, you find yourself on a soundstage. You're out in the open, with the drive-in cinema in front of you along with the diner. It's nighttime. The storm picks up and a twister appears before your very eyes. The twister that rips through causes trees to split, buildings to be destroyed, and cows to fly. A fire breaks out and the soundstage is in total chaos. It felt like being on a film set, and to an extent felt like being in a real storm. You would then exit through the gift shop called Aftermath, decorated with props from the film and the ride. Understandably, the intellectual property of Twister was beginning to feel a bit dated after 17 years in operation, but the concept of this attraction was perfect, and a great alternative to other types of rides in the park. If this had to be replaced, we'd have liked to see something similar with practical effects, rather than the glorified 4D cinema that we got. Sorry Jimmy, we know it's not your fault. Number 8. Earthquake the Big One and Disaster. Another strange decision on Universal's part was the removal of Earthquake the Big One, later known as Disaster. As an opening day attraction, Earthquake the Big One allowed guests to experience an 8.3 magnitude earthquake on a subway train. This would cause flooding, destruction and fire. Disaster would feature a pre-show, and the focus was more about how practical effects are used in films to create blockbuster action. This ride, much like Twister, took you right into the heart of the action, making you feel as though you're actually on the set of a film. It seems as though Universal's old mantra was to make you feel like you're in a film studio, hence their slogan, Ride the Movies. As time has gone on, They seem to want to shake this philosophy and instead offer something else. Earthquake, or disaster, was problematic to operate based on the effects being costly and mechanical failure becoming an issue as the ride aged. It closed in 2015. We would have liked to see an attraction with more thought and care as a replacement for an opening day attraction. As we mentioned earlier, Fast and Furious Supercharged replaced two fan favourites. Along with Beetlejuice, this is the other. Fast and Furious Supercharged is widely considered one of the worst attractions to feature in Universal Orlando Resort, and honestly, we hope it gets added to the attraction graveyard sooner rather than later. Number 7. Jaws. Jaws was no doubt the largest ride by area in Universal Studios before it was removed in 2012. Another opening day attraction, guests could take a boat tour of Amity Island, captained by a skipper who would double as your tour guide of the area. You would encounter the Great White himself soon after spotting a wrecked boat just like the one you're on. Hiding in the boathouse doesn't work as the shark is in there with you. After more close encounters, the shark would meet its end after chomping on an electric wire. Your skipper takes you back to shore. Much like Earthquake, this ride had huge operational costs, with practical effects such as fire explosions and oil spillages. Having been in operation for 22 years, the iconic Jaws was never dated, but was taking up a lot of space in the park. This ride was replaced by the entire area of Diagon Alley, which is a fair trade if you ask us. Diagon Alley is one of the best themed lands in the world, with a world-class attraction in its ranks in Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts. Diagon Alley is extra special as it is completely unique to Universal Orlando Resort, with its counterpart Hogsmeade being found in Hollywood and Japan, as well as Islands of Adventure next door. The caught shark can still be found in the San Francisco area of Universal Studios Florida, and makes for a great photo opportunity. Next time you're in the area, stop by and think back to this amazing extinct attraction. Number 6. Funtastic World of Hanna-Barbera and Jimmy Neutron's Nicktoon Blast. Where Despicable Me Minion Mayhem currently resides has been home to two attractions before it, very similar in nature. On opening day in 1990, this theatre was the Funtastic World of Hanna-Barbera, a motion simulator show featuring famous Hanna-Barbera characters such as the Flintstones, Wacky Races, Scooby-Doo, Yogi Bear and the Jetsons. This ran for 12 years before the intellectual property was refreshed to Nickelodeon and named Jimmy Neutron's Nicktoon Blast in 2003. The updated version followed a similar pattern with a pre-show and rocket ride, this time featuring Rugrats, SpongeBob SquarePants, Fairly Odd Parents and Jimmy Neutron himself. This update made the ride suitable for a new generation of children and offered a family-friendly attraction in a park that was mostly filled with thrilling attractions. In 2011, Jimmy Neutron's Nicktoon Blast was closed to make way for Despicable Me Minion Mayhem, a once again similar attraction with a pre-show and rocket ride. If we follow this pattern, it's likely that Despicable Me will eventually become dated and this attraction will get another overlay in the coming years. Number 5. Back to the Future the Ride. Back to the Future was a motion simulator ride that was where Simpsons the Ride is now. It opened in 1991, a year after the park opened. If you never experienced Back to the Future, it was very similar to the Simpsons ride. The same dome screens were used and your vehicle was lifted into it to fully immerse you. All of the technology was updated for the Simpsons ride, but the nature of the ride was the very same. The concept of the ride takes place after the film trilogy, and Doc Brown is taking you in his DeLorean from present day 1991 to a futuristic 2015. You're then taken back to the Ice Age a million years ago and then further back to see dinosaurs. The timestamp of this film always meant it couldn't last forever. Scenes were filmed with actors from the films, and as the years went on, these became more and more dated. It was inevitable that the ride would be replaced before 2015, given that it now wouldn't be travelling to the future anymore, but to another moment in the past, and its depiction of 2015 wouldn't be quite accurate. The Simpsons ride is more timeless, with no real dating factors other than the cartoon itself, which has stood the test of time. Number 4. The Wild 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 West Stunt Show. In 1991, a new stunt spectacular show opened beside Jaws called the Wild 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 West Stunt Show. Based on the Western genre rather than a single film, this allowed Universal to control the narrative and create a Western show filled with shootouts, explosions and other stunts. Universal have produced many Western films through the years, and this show paid homage to that era of film. In 2003, this show closed to make way for Fear Factor Live, which opened in 2005. This was part of a larger project to bring more modern intellectual property to the park in order to attract new audiences, with Men in Black Alien Attack opening in 2000, Shrek 4D opening in 2003, and Revenge of the Mummy opening in 2004. Anyone who visited Universal Studios Florida between 1991 and 2003 will no doubt have fond memories of this amazing show. Number 3. Alfred Hitchcock: The Art of Making Movies. Alfred Hitchcock: The Art of Making Movies was an opening day attraction and operated for 13 years until closing in 2003. The attraction resided where Shrek 4D is now. Guests would be taken behind the camera on this one, showcasing how iconic scenes from Alfred Hitchcock's films were shot. The pre-show featured famous props from his films, as well as montage clips from classics like Rear Window, Vertigo and The Birds. In the main show, guests would fill a theatre in front of a huge set featuring the Bates Motel and house from the film Psycho. The famous shower scene would be reenacted by live actors, with the host talking you through how a film and scene is directed. As we mentioned before, it seems pretty clear that in the 90s, Universal wanted to take guests into a real studio, putting you on live sets, bringing you behind the camera and revealing secrets of the trade. This attraction very much fits that mould. As time has gone on, all of these attractions have been replaced by more general entertainment attractions. Number 2. Kongfrontation. Another opening day attraction, Kongfrontation was a thrilling dark ride that took you face to face with King Kong. Guests would board an aerial tram vehicle and take a ride through New York City. After queuing through a New York subway station, guests would board their aerial tram. Much like Jaws, the tram operator would double as your tour guide. Shortly after departure, your tour guide would spot trouble, but it's too late, you've already left the station. After 2 close encounters with King Kong, your tour guide leads you back to safety. Before exiting the ride, guests would be shown a news report of their tram being attacked by King Kong. Actual footage of the passengers on the ride is shown, which was a creative feature of this attraction. Like many rides that no longer exist, Kongfrontation was expensive to operate and prone to technical issues. After closing in 2002, Revenge of the Mummy would open in 2004 in its place. Over a decade later, Universal unveiled a new King Kong attraction in Islands of Adventure next door called Skull Island: Reign of Kong. This new attraction is heavily reliant on screens, but does feature a huge audio animatronic of King Kong. While Kongfrontation looks dated now looking back, there's still something to be said for live sets in action, rather than wearing 3D glasses and looking at screens. And number 1, Ghostbusters Spooktacular. The final entry on this list was a theatre show that resided in the New York area of the park called Ghostbusters Spooktacular. This was an opening day attraction, and 2 versions of the show existed before its closing in 1996. Both shows took place in the Temple of Gozer and featured the Ghostbusters doing their thing, fighting famous antagonists from the film like Slimer and Stay Puft. After closing in 1996, the space was used for Twister Ride It Out. Ghostbusters has since never had a major attraction in Universal Orlando Resort, which is surprising based on the popularity of the film franchise. The entrance to the old attraction still exists though. A clever eye will notice a fire station in the New York area, and Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket passes right through the second story. Check out our unbuilt history of Universal Studios Florida 2, outlining the rides that were planned but never built. We also have a video for hidden gems in this park. Both of these videos are on screen now. Let us know in the comments below which of these extinct attractions you miss most, and don't forget to subscribe for new weekly content. And now you're ready.